I will be doing a how-to tutorial on how to draw and colour this anime elf girl using coloured pencils. So my first step is to draw a very light circle with my 2H pencil and go around it using it for her forehead, and then I go in for the cheekbones and then do a V line with 2 lines going down for her chin. And so then we want to do the proportion lines where we want her proportions of the face to be, and then we want to draw the eye where we want the eye sockets to be in, and then we just draw in our eyes over the top of those lines. So you can see here I'm doing the anime eyes, and if you want a close-up tutorial on how to draw those anime eyes, the link will be in the description on my how to draw 10 different types of eyes video. So now I'm going in drawing the eyes, and obviously the type of anime eyes I'm drawing today is the oval style, so it's a bit more of that cutesy chibi look rather than the more grown-up anime look, but it's still a style of anime eye. So I'm just going over it to get that right oval shape, and now going in doing the eyelashes and the things like that. So now that I've done the eyes, I'm going in with the hair, doing fairly individual but not too individual strands of hair, as that's the kind of look that anime is. You want clumps of hair but not individual strands, but you don't want one big like straight line for the hair. And so now I'm drawing in the pigtails on either side, but just the bows at the moment. And now I'm going to draw her body. So I'm going to do a round circle so I know the size of her bust, and little circles for where I want her shoulders to be. So now I'm going to draw out the chest area based on the circle I just drew for the chest, and I'm just outlining that now. And now drawing in the waist, and now I'm going to draw a long rectangle side oval where I want her hips to be, so I can figure out the size of the hips. And now I'm going to draw in the arms based on where I put my shoulder, and I want to draw them the length that I want it to be. So I want it to be not too long, not too short, and you want the arm that's coming up to end just after the shoulder. And now I'm doing the hair, so I want the strands I want it to be flowing, and I did some individual strands around it just to make sure that it doesn't feel too clumpy. So I felt like it would look more dynamic if I went and did some individual hair strands around it, just so it looked more flowy. Drawing in the outfit now, I wanted her to have a preppy look, so I did puff sleeves and a cute little stripy skirt and a bow tie. And now I'm just drawing in her hand, which if you need help with drawing hands, I always just use my own hand as a reference. So now I'm going to start my outlining process. So for this I'll be using my black Pentel Sign brush pen, which is the pen I'm always using for my outlining. So it can definitely, if you're a beginner, it can definitely be hard at first using a brush pen. So I definitely recommend, if you're starting out, just using a uni pen fine liner outlining pen. and you can, I'd usually use black. I'd recommend that, but if you're someone who loves just using coloured fine lining, outlining pens, definitely go for coloured ones, but I think you've got to go for a different brand. They might have coloured uni pens, but I'm not sure. But there's definitely some other brands that people love to use, like Microns and things, for fine lining, but uni pen is just the one I personally use. So now we are doing the colouring. So I like to choose my colours before I start. Sometimes I don't, but usually these days I do. So for the top of the hair, I want to gradient it down from the dark pink to the mid pink to the light pink, and then I'm fading out with the light pink to white. Sometimes I'll actually just do the lightest pink for the highlight, but in this case I want to have that white highlight. And so I usually do a style of colouring when I'm using my pencils. I'm using my Prismacolor pencils, and later on I do use a few of my Abertura pencils, but so sometimes I like to go hard, like press hard straight away, and sometimes I like to go, if I want to layer it more, you definitely want to press light at first and build up that pigment. So here I'm kind of going in between, and so I'm doing a mix of going in a circular motion and also flicking. So I find that overall you want to do a circular motion because it definitely gets a smoother look. It depends on how big the area is, how big you want the circular motions to be. But right now I'm kind of doing medium circular motions, and I'm doing I'm kind of trying to blend the light pink into the mid pink, and then blend it out into the white. And then you can see that I'm using the mid pink to flick into that light pink, and then using the dark pink to flick into the mid pink, and then going over it with the light pink just to kind of darken and make the colors more vibrant and more pigmented. The harder you layer on, the more pigmented it'll be. So if you do it, if you color really lightly, your pigment is going to be way less vibrant than if you go hard. But you can definitely start doing coloring light and then go over it with layering to make it darker. That's a way to get more of light and shade in your coloring. That's a great technique to use. So I'm just going to be coloring the hair now. So you can see here that initial layer of the dark pink there was very light, and then I went over it over it harder, pressing harder so I could get more light and shade and blend the colors better, because you kind of want to layer it light first and then blend it dark, but sometimes you don't need to. If you only want to do one layer, you just go dark the first time. going to be colouring her skin using Prismacolor and I pencils, so I went ahead and did my base colour, and then I wanted to do the shadows with the darker colour. So for the shadows, I just kind of outline all the things around her face. So what I mean by that is I wanted to outline the shadows underneath where her hair would be and the sides of her hair, and obviously that shadow underneath her neck. And now I'm going in really lightly with my purple tone for the top, and then going over it with lots of different purple tones to get that lightened shade. And so I'm going lightly and then with all these colours, and then going back over it with my lightest purple just to get that thick pigmented look. Now for the final touches, after I colour in these gloves by doing the same technique I've been doing with all of them, with most of the artwork, which is layering light and then going over it dark, I'm just using Posca to do some final touch-ups. Well, when I say touch-ups, I just mean a few highlights, and the artwork will be finished. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was helpful for you in learning how to colour with Prismacolor pencils. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell for all notifications, and ta-ta!